It was just another day at the hotel. Or so I thought. As the manager, I was used to dealing with demanding guests, late check-ins, and endless complaints. But that day, something felt different. A man stormed up to the front desk, his face tight with frustration. His sharp suit and slicked-back hair gave him an air of importance, but his glare was ice-cold. Without a word, he slammed his phone onto the counter. "My room is unacceptable," he snapped. "Who's responsible?" I took a deep breath, forcing a smile. "I'm Isabella, the manager. Let me fix this." As I led him to a better room, his tension seemed to ease. He sighed, running a hand through his hair. "Sorry," he muttered. "Been traveling for weeks. It's wearing me down." His name was Peter, a cryptocurrency investor constantly on the move. I had met all kinds of guests, but something about Peter intrigued me. He was intense, yet charming. By the end of the evening, we were having dinner together, talking about everything from travel nightmares to favorite pizza toppings. It felt effortless, natural, like we had known each other forever. I never saw the trap. What started as casual conversations over dinner soon turned into something deeper. Peter was different from the other guests. He listened, asked questions, and made me feel seen. After my shift, we'd take long walks, sharing stories under the city lights. One evening at a quiet bar, he peeled the label off his beer bottle, a nervous habit. "You know," he admitted, "traveling gets lonely." I studied him, my heart skipping a beat. "Then why do it?" He exhaled, staring at the amber liquid in his glass. "Freedom," he said simply. But something in his voice sounded uncertain. As our connection grew, I found myself opening up in ways I never had before. After my parents died, it was just me and my sister Cheryl, I confessed. I had to take care of everything. Peter listened, his eyes soft with understanding. "That's a lot for one person," he said. "You did good, Isabella." His words warmed me, making me feel truly seen. The more time we spent together, the more I felt myself falling. I ignored the nagging voice in my head. Love was supposed to be scary, right? Little did I know, I was falling into a carefully set trap. One evening, he walked into my apartment for the first time. He looked around, genuinely impressed. "This is nice," he said, as if surprised. "What did you think?" I teased. "That I lived in a closet?" He chuckled, shaking his head. "No, I admire what you've built." That night, over a shared bottle of wine, he dropped the bombshell. "I love you, Isabella," he said, his voice steady. "I never thought I'd want to settle down, but with you, it's different." My heart raced. Could I trust this? But when I looked into his eyes, I believed him. Peter proposed soon after. The engagement was a whirlwind. Flowers, venue bookings, endless calls. "You deserve something unforgettable," he said, his enthusiasm infectious. Then came the financial talk. "I'll handle everything," he assured me. "Just transfer 60,000. I've got connections. It'll be perfect." It was almost everything I had saved, but I ignored the hesitation in my chest. This was love, right? Love required trust. So I sent the money, never once questioning if I was making a mistake. Watching Peter take charge filled me with excitement, not realizing I was blindly handing him control over my future. As wedding plans progressed, I knew it was time for him to meet Cheryl. She worked at a local diner, always blunt, always protective. The moment we walked in, she smirked. "So, this is the mystery fiancé." Peter extended a charming handshake. "You must be the beautiful sister I've heard so much about." Cheryl shot me a playful glance. "And rich, I hear." I flushed with embarrassment. "Cheryl!" But Peter just laughed. "Money isn't everything," he said smoothly. Cheryl studied him carefully. "We'll see." I should have paid attention to the way she watched him. the way her smile didn't quite reach her eyes. Weeks passed, and Peter remained the perfect fiancé. Charming, considerate, completely devoted. Then one morning, he left in a hurry, forgetting his phone on the coffee table. It buzzed relentlessly. At first I ignored it, assuming it was business. But then I saw the name flashing on the screen. Cheryl. My stomach twisted. Why was my sister texting my fiancé so much? Against my better judgment, I picked up the phone. The first message hit me like a slap. I can't wait to be with you forever, Peter. Forget Isabella. It's you I want. My hands trembled. I scrolled through the messages, each one worse than the last. Soon, love. She has no idea. She trusts me completely. I felt the room spin. My heart pounded so loudly I could barely think. This wasn't just an affair. This was a plan. They were using me, playing me like a fool. The final blow came with one last message. I'm pregnant. The phone slipped from my grasp. My little sister, the person I had raised, protected, sacrificed everything for, had betrayed me in the worst way possible. And Peter, the man I was about to marry, was orchestrating it all. That night, I played the role of the loving fiancé. I let Peter kiss me, hold me, talk about our future like nothing had changed. But inside, something cold and dark settled in my chest. They wanted a wedding? I'd give them one they'd never forget. The day arrived, and the grand hall filled with guests. Just as Peter and I stood at the altar, the doors burst open. Cheryl stormed in, wearing a white dress of her own. Gasps rippled through the crowd. I'm the one who should be here, she announced. I'm having his baby. Peter dropped my hand and laughed, an ugly sound. Thanks for setting all this up, Isabella, he sneered. It's perfect, for me and your sister. My heart pounded, but I refused to break. Instead, I stepped back, smiling coolly. Of course, I said. I wouldn't miss the show. Just then, another voice cut through the chaos. Peter! A woman stormed forward, eyes blazing. I'm his wife, she declared, and the mother of his child. The room fell into stunned silence. Cheryl turned pale. What? She whispered. But it was only the beginning of Peter's downfall. Peter stammered, his perfect facade cracking. Then the doors opened again. This time, his parents entered. His father's expression was stone cold. You're a disgrace, he said. You are no longer part of this family. Phones flashed, recording every second. Guests whispered, relishing the scandal. I watched it all unfold with a strange sense of satisfaction. Justice. But I wasn't finished. One more thing, I said calmly. Peter isn't just a liar, he's broke. He stole from his own family. Gasps filled the hall. Peter's wife slapped him across the face, and Cheryl burst into tears. And just like that, his empire crumbled. Peter's face turned pale as the weight of his lies collapsed around him. Cheryl, who had stormed in with so much confidence, now stood frozen, her white dress mocking the dream she thought she had stolen from me. Peter's wife glared at them both, her fury unmatched. The guests sat in stunned silence, their whispers swelling into a dull hum. Peter opened his mouth, trying to regain control, but there was nothing left to salvage. This is ridiculous, he muttered, rubbing his temples. But his voice lacked conviction. His parents stepped forward, their disappointment heavier than any public disgrace. His father, a man of power and status, stood tall. You are no longer our son, he announced coldly. We raised you better than this. His mother sobbed into her handkerchief, unable to meet his eyes. The betrayal ran deeper than I had imagined. Peter hadn't just lied to me. He had built his life on deception. His empire was a house of cards, and with every exposed secret, it crumbled further. Cheryl, who once looked at Peter with admiration, now seemed small, lost in the wreckage of his deceit. She turned to him, desperate. "Peter, tell them it's not true." Peter hesitated. For a split second I thought he might fight for her, might stand by the woman carrying his child. But then, the final nail in the coffin came. His wife stepped forward, holding up her phone. "I hired a private investigator," she announced. "Peter is drowning in debt. His investments failed months ago. He's been conning women to stay afloat." Gasps filled the room. Peter's charm had always masked his true nature, but now there was nowhere to hide. Cheryl took a step back, horror dawning on her face. "Peter," she whispered, voice shaking. "Is that true?" Peter's jaw tightened. His eyes darted around the room as if searching for an escape. But there was none. The truth was out. He was exposed. "It's not like that," he muttered. But even he didn't sound convinced. His wife let out a bitter laugh. "It's exactly like that," she said. "You used me, just like you used Isabella. And now Cheryl? God, you never stop, do you?" Cheryl's hands trembled as she cradled her stomach. For the first time, I saw true fear in her eyes. She had bet everything on Peter, and now she was left with nothing. A slow clap echoed through the room. At first, I thought it was some cruel joke, but then I realized it was me. I was clapping. A slow, steady applause, breaking through the tension. "Bravo, Peter," I said, my voice eerily calm. "You really had us all fooled." He turned to me, his face unreadable. I stepped closer, lowering my voice so only he could hear. "You thought you'd ruin me?" I whispered. "No, Peter. I ruined you." He exhaled sharply, shaking his head. "You don't understand," he started, but I didn't let him finish. "No," I said. "You don't understand." I turned to the guests, my heart pounding. "I want to thank everyone for coming," I announced, my voice steady. "This wasn't the wedding I planned, but it's certainly one I'll never forget." Laughter rippled through the crowd.